Hi, I'm John from the Garden Corner. This is the Garden Corner Show, the internet's most passionate gardening show. I'm John. We're here with Mr. Dave. How are you today, Mr. Dave?
I'm doing good, John. Thank you.
Great, great. We're talking about Christmas trees because I'm standing in the middle of our Christmas trees. I want to give you some tips on what to look for in a Christmas tree, how to get the most out of a Christmas tree, and most of all, how not to have a dry, brittle tree in the middle of the Christmas season. Now, we're out. Christmas trees, we got to back up a bit because way in the summer months is when we're out shopping for Christmas trees in July, August. And of course, I'm a little bit anal because I like to have picture-perfect Christmas trees. So I'm out hand marking each one of these trees. But first of all, let's talk about losing needles. That's a big thing, losing needles. Now, everybody shakes their tree before they come in, correct?
Yeah.
Is that how yours is, Dave?
Yeah.
When you go, where do you get your tree? You from a lot? From a
Different places.
different places? He wants to say he got it here at the Garden Corner, but some years you skipped, right?
I have
Yeah.
a year or two.
And we're going to be really authentic. Dave, did you have some dry, brittle trees from the Garden Corner before?
I did.
You did. Look at that. Oh my gosh. He had, and tell me, was it brittle in the middle of the season?
And that's exactly what happened.
Really?
Put all our ornaments on. And
You got your ornaments on, and then did you suddenly get scared to flick on the lights?
yes, that's what happened.
Did you wake up in the middle of the night thinking, did I leave the Christmas lights on? The house, do you smell smoke? That's just terrible. But you know what? Over the years, we've learned some things. Our big thing this year is Moisture In. Have you heard of Moisture In? No. Moisture In, made right here in Oregon. It's sprayed on the official White House Christmas tree. And what we do is spray it on. It holds in the moisture of the needles, and what was it? I lost my train of thought. Oh, holds in the moisture of the needles without losing that great scent, the smell of a Christmas tree. And we're going to go over that, by the way, too. So do ask, do these trees get sprayed for moisture in, especially if you're getting your tree from a lot? Now, folks have their traditions. You're out. If you do it from the Christmas tree farm, that's great because you get a fresh cut. Though, right before you bring it in the house, make another fresh cut, at least an inch. First tree we're going to go over is the noble fir. Now, a lot of things about the noble fir. In the olden days, it used to be really layered trees, and those are a lot harder to find because we shear them every year. That makes them full. I like the noble firs to be full, but not too full. And I like that at the very end, that last shear, to let it grow out a bit, so then you get a little bit more natural look to it, so it's not so pyramidal. Now, each to his own on this Christmas tree. Also on the spacing, I always like to have a little bit more space in between the layers of branches just to hold your ornaments a little bit better. Now, noble firs are by far the number one favorite tree, for us especially. It has a scent. You'll definitely smell it pretty well. I'll show you another one that smells even better if you're interested. One thing about noble firs is pay attention to the color of the tree, because they come in different hues of color, not by variety, but on the conditions that they're grown in. So some of them are grown much more dry, colder. So I've got a variety of colors as well. As you can see, this is a light green. I don't know if, Dave, can you get that compared? So this is kind of a light green, which is a neat coloring. This has a more blue-green to it. Might make a difference for you. Now, let's talk about the Grand Fir. The Grand Fir, if fragrance is your thing, Grand Fir is a #1 tree for that. Boy, this is really a strong smelling tree. So that's what's neat about this. Now, on the Grand Firs, on the Grand Firs, you can get this we can get this very sheared, but we can also let it grow out that last portion of the season. So ours, you can see, are a little bit more natural growing. Grand Firs aren't that strong for big, heavy ornaments. So you can see they're very, very light. If you have light ornaments, they're a great tree. One other thing that's neat about Grand Fir is if you want that old-fashioned flocking. Dave, have you ever had a flock tree?
Never had a flock.
No. Because nowadays they're calling flock trees like my grandma's tree, and so it used to. I've always thought of flock trees as the latest trees, but now it's much more of a grandma's tree, and you can get flock all crazy colors too. By the way, did you know that? Pink, blue. Anyway, Grand Firs are a great one for flock because it's the flock sits on there really nicely. You know what? We should do a video on the flock trees. And I'll show you how the flock, it's really cool. You'll have a lot of good time. So that's about the Grand Fir. Fragrance. Oh, and also, if you're very much a structural type person and you want these very, very sheared, you certainly can get it that way. And there was one more thing I wanted to mention about the Grand Fir. Fragrance, the shape, and the lightness on the ornaments. Okay, I think I got covered on that one. Oh, hey, one more thing I want to make sure that is that cutting right before it gets in the house. I'm going to show you. I've got another helpful hint about the actual stand that I want to show you. It's really a neat stand because you want your tree straight up and you want it nice and solid, but we'll talk about that later. But do make sure you get that cut before it goes in the house and get it in water within at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most. Another helpful hint, keeps it green. Comes in a small bottle. Add that to the water. That helps it take it up and keeps your needles moist. That's all I have for now on your Christmas trees. I hope it goes well. Leave a comment if you've done these things and it hasn't helped. That's one big thing. That pretty much tells you that, hey, it ain't working, but I bet you it will. Have fun. Have a good time in the gardening. Live your life with passion.
You see me right